Well, the draft law on safeguarding national security in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region was submitted for deliberation to National People's Congress. And regarding this legislation, you may have heard about these 7 statements. Statement 1, national security legislation for Hong Kong SAR does not conform to international common practice. Wrong. In all countries, the power to legislate on national security falls within the power of the central government. For example, Australia has 2 national security laws, United Kingdom has 3, Canada has 5, and the United States alone has more than 20 such laws. Maintaining national security through legislation is an internationally accepted practice. Statement 2. Legislation will damage the basic rights and freedoms of Hong Kong residents. No need to worry. The national security law only targets acts of secession, subverting state power, and terrorist activities, as well as interference by external forces. Hong Kong residents still enjoy the freedom of peaceful assembly and demonstration, of criticizing the government and discussing current affairs. More than that, the rule of law in Hong Kong SAR will be improved, society will be more stable, and the safety of life and property of local residents will be better guaranteed. Statement 3. The formulation process of national security legislation will not take the advice of Hong Kong residents. In fact, during the drafting process, China's central authorities have repeatedly listened to the opinions of Hong Kong SAR's Chief Executive Carrie Lam and relevant principal officials. People from all walks of life in Hong Kong SAR can also express their opinions by email, letter, or logging in to the website of National People's Congress. Statement 4. The boundary of authority of national security enforcement is unidentified, so innocent residents may be attacked. This is also wrong. The law enforcement agencies only deal with matters involving national security, and the corresponding responsibilities will be clearly defined in the legislation. Even in Chinese mainland, national security agencies have to deal with cases strictly in accordance with the law. How could they become unrestrained in Hong Kong? Statement 5. The national security legislation will affect the confidence of foreign investors in Hong Kong SAR and undermine its position as financial center. Wrong again. It's common knowledge that only when national security is ensured can investors have confidence. The turbulence over the fugitive bill since last year has cost Hong Kong the title of the world's freest economy, a title it had held for 25 years, and its GDP contracted for the first time in a decade, and unemployment hit a record high in nearly 10 years. And this legislation will alleviate the grave concern in business communities about debilitating violence and create a more reliable and stable environment for foreign investors. In 2009, Macau SAR, next to Hong Kong, passed a national security law. Between 2009 and 2019, Macau's GDP grew by 153%. The number of inbound tourists increased by 81%. Statement 6. Will U.S. sanction alter the position of Hong Kong SAR as a separate custom territory? No worries. The legal basis for Hong Kong being a separate custom territory is derived from WTO rules and confirmed by the Basic Law. It will not changed by unilateral sanctions from a few countries. Statement 7. Is the national security law unable to be connected with Hong Kong SAR's existing legal system? The truth is, the legislation not only does not undermine or replace Hong Kong's existing legal system, but it will close the current legal loopholes, embody the principle of one country, and respect the differences between two systems. One country is the basis of the one country, two systems. Should the principle of one country be undermined, two systems would be impossible to practice. Since the turbulence over the fugitive bill in 2019, Hong Kong has been in chaos. Residents' property and lives have been severely threatened. Some separatists even made a public appeal for foreign sanctions against China and invited the US military to Hong Kong. The national security legislation will guarantee the sustainability of the one country, two systems. It will not change the one country, two systems principle, the high degree of autonomy practiced, the capitalist system, or the legal system in the Hong Kong SAR.